Welcome to Dodgers Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. Fans, today we have a very, very, very special guest, a young man I've been trying to catch up with for what, about a month? Been playing a little phone tag.
Last two homestands, yeah.
Absolutely. Will Klein joins Will. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's jump right in. 135th pick of the 2020 draft, which was the 5th round of that draft. And people, if you remember, there was only 5 rounds. You're probably sweating bullets, right? Take it back to that.
Yeah, that was probably the most stressed out I've ever been up until that point, even now. So, you talk to teams before, and I'd had some teams tell me 6th round grade or like asking if I'd sign, a free agent deal after and stuff. And so it came around to the 5th round, and I think I was like shaking, like with anxiety and stuff, waiting for it to go. But I'd gotten a text from my agent asking if I would go like to Kansas City there, and I was like, all right, like yeah, let's do it. So that kind of like killed those nerves for me. I was super excited to get picked by them, but that whole day, the day before, I think even months before, like when your lifelong dream's almost a realization, like you're just so excited and nervous, and those kind of combined on that last day for me.
So I got to ask you, from Eastern Illinois, Bloomington.
Yep.
And at that time, Kyle Schwarber had taken Indiana to the College World Series for the first time in I don't know how long.
Yep.
They were pretty badass, that team.
Oh, yeah.
How in the hell did you not end up at Indiana?
I don't think I ever talked to the coaches there
Really?
once. Yeah, I had talked to Purdue.
Eastern Illinois is where you ended up.
Yeah, I ended up at Eastern Illinois. Yeah, but I had talked to Purdue a couple times before they like cleared house and stuff. And I grew up a huge Hoosiers fan, so I hated Purdue. But I had still talked to them more than I talked to Indiana. But ended up meeting Jason Anderson, Blake Beamer, Julio Godinez with Eastern Illinois, and ended up being the perfect fit, close to home, liked everybody there, and so just kind of worked its way out.
Talked about where you're from. We've talked about your college. We've talked about getting drafted. Now talk about your major league debut.
Yeah, same thing. I was sitting around waiting to make it because I gotten called up the game 3 of a homestand against the Blue Jays, I think, before, and I was like, all right, like maybe today, and that got rained out, 5 innings into that game, and so we go to Detroit. I'm like, all right, like maybe one of these games we had a big lead in, I think, game 2. I think Sauer ended up throwing the 9th in that game. I was like, this might be perfect for me. But Sauer ended up throwing there, and I got up in the 9th inning of that game. I think they were just like, hey, get him up, like get his nerves out, and if I won in that game, it would have been all over the place. Like,
absolutely.
That might have been my worst warm-up ever. But I was like, dang, like that would have been like the perfect spot to go in, get it out of the way. But so then the next day I show up, and I had gone up for Alec Marsh, who's a starter, and I see one of our other starters from AAA in there. I was like, okay, this is probably my last day here. I really hope I throw. But we get to the 8th inning, down 3 or 4 runs. I think, down 3. And they're like, all right, Will, you're in the game now. And so I was like, okay, get on the mound. Like I had gotten the nerves out a little bit the day before, but that's a deep bullpen out in
Kaufman?
Yeah, no, we were in Tigers. I think, is that Comerica?
Yeah, Comerica, yes.
And they even brought the fence in, but that's still a deep jog, and so I felt like I was running a 5K into the mound, and warming up. Like I think I blacked out, but I just like getting that first strike in there kind of like helped cool everything out, and then we got Colt Keith to ground out, and then so everything kind of like took a deep breath after that one, and then got the first strikeout after that with I believe it was McKinstry, and so getting both those out of the way there kind of helped, and then finished inning. I think we struck out Jake Rogers, and then the ump when I was coming off like checked everything, kind of like gave me a sec, like hey, like take it in now, like take a breath, take it in, and he kind of let me like take in that moment a little more, so that was great.
Yeah, that's the fun side. As far as getting to play, the business side is the trades and all that.
Yeah.
Got traded to the A's last July. Talk about the business side.
Yeah, so I mean, I had just gotten recalled after we had a couple guys go on the IL and stuff. I was like, okay, like gonna go up, like try to earn my spot here again. And then I almost threw my first day being back up. If it stayed the same I was in, if we took the lead, we were going to Will Smith or MacArthur or whoever it was at the time. And I was like, okay, like, and we ended up scoring like 4 runs with 2 outs. So like, darn, but.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then next day we're on the bus we're in Chicago, and it's like an hour long from that stadium, and I just got on the bus and I see a call from JJ Piccolo, and I'm like, oh no. And I turn to like MacArthur, I show him like I'm getting a call from JJ. And I go, well, it's nice knowing you guys. I think I just got traded. And I pick it up and they're like, hey, like we're sending you to the Oakland A's. And I'm like, all right. So I had to ride that whole hour-long bus ride knowing, that, and had to went and packed everything up, said goodbye, headed back to the hotel. And I don't know if you know like much soccer, but I actually met Zlatan Ibrahimovic in the hotel.
Oh wow, very cool.
Yeah, because AC Milan and Real Madrid were playing
really
at Soldier Stadium or Soldier Field.
Wow.
So that was really cool. AC Milan was staying at our hotel. That was a happy like side effect of that. So that was
Are
really
you a
cool.
soccer fan?
I'm a huge soccer.
Oh
huge
wow,
Chelsea
that is
fan.
cool.
Yeah.
Were they baseball fans?
No, he didn't.
So you knew who they were, but they didn't know who you were, right?
No chance.
Okay, awesome.
But I got to talk to him for like 5 minutes and get a picture with him, so that was really cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, and then next day I flew out super early to San Francisco to meet the team. And I didn't throw then, but I got like you just get traded at a whim. My wife had she was taking the bar at the time, and she, as soon as she was done taking the first day of that, was like, hey, like, you want to move all our stuff from Omaha to Oakland? So she packed it all up with her mom and made the 24+ hour drive to Oakland, and so it's just like on a whim, your whole new ball game. So that was pretty crazy.
Traded the Mariners in the offseason?
Yep, traded the Mariners. And,
take us through that and then getting to the Dodgers.
So DFA'd when they signed Jose Leclerc, traded to the Mariners, which was kind of crazy because one of my best friends is Jonah DePoto, so I'd known Jerry for a little bit, and he'd seen me play like all that time, so I think that may have helped. He saw my good days. But no, that was cool. Jerry called me. He said that like I've seen you pitch so many times. Like we're happy to have you here. And so always been like watched them just because of Jonah and stuff. And so that was cool getting to be able to like part of that and like meet all those guys. And they're ahead of the game pitching too. And so it was good. Like they helped me add my cutter and stuff. And so
nice.
But we're sitting there on our couch and getting ready for spring training because we got a place near Mesa. And so we're like, all right, like we'll just.
Rough life you're living at this point.
Oh yeah, what a shame pitching in the major leagues. But no, we got a place in Tempe to be close to Mesa. Now we're going to Peoria, which is like an hour every day, but it is what it is. But so that was another thing. Like 5-minute notice, like, hey, you're not on our team anymore. Here's your new team. It's like what? It just got really good at like making adjustments.
Yeah, right.
Meeting. I'm not great at meeting new people, but I'm getting better at trying to remember names and all.
Yeah, you have an awesome outgoing personality, so I'm sure you're actually pretty good at it. Okay, so adjustments since you come to the Dodgers. You mentioned adding the cutter. Has there been any maybe slight adjustments or changes that you've made?
Yeah. So when I first got here, they had said something like games where I'm like slider heavy, I kind of like lose my velo a little bit. So that was like big thing. That was kind of like, all right, like didn't know that, and like I used to throw a gyro. And so, all right, when I first got here, we went fastball, curveball, cutter. And so my first 2 weeks in OKC were like solid, like just going at it, getting after them, and then went up after that and realized I was throwing a lot better to lefties too because that's a good arsenal to get in on them and stuff. And I like kind of use them as a natural barrier to not pull off. And so righties, I had that side open, so I'd pull a little more. So all right, like here's a pitch to help with righties, and we just tweaked my curveball. I throw like a 12-6. So we just flip the seams on it. Like here's a slider.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That sounds like Braden Fisher. That's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So 12-6. Now it's like I just spike a sweeper, and I've been throwing that like 89, 90, and it just and it goes sideways a lot more than my old slider did. So
without having to really.
No, I just throw
physically
it like
manipulate it.
Yeah, just throw it like my curveball, just really rip it, and so that was a big one that McGinnis and Pryor helped me with. So that's been huge. That helps.
Dodgers are amazing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing up there. They call them the spin doctor, but. Yeah, so that's really helped with. I mean, even with lefties, like I can get that under the bat. But same thing with righties, like something hard that way, and it's been in zone better. But they've got great people, and just like the day-to-day help. Like came back down, had a couple rough ones, and we get with them, talk to the guys in AZ, talk to the guys up there, figure something out. And so the process the last 2-ish weeks has been a lot better. So we're getting back into it.
Let me ask you a tough question here. If I were to say, hey. I love Will Klein's fastball. I mean, it's got great metrics to it, especially at the top of the zone. I don't think he trusted enough of the big moments. Would that be fair?
It would have been, yeah. I think there were times, like, especially when you go up there, like, and you're, like, the new guy, like, you're
trying to trick everybody, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like, all right, like, they can hit fastballs. And it's like, well, you just got to trust it. And then we've talked through it, too, like, just the way it comes out, like, throw it a little, like, more behind my head. Just, like, kind of comes here. and so they don't like pick it up until a little later, and so that's like helps, like, all right, like they have a harder time picking up from my slot and stuff like that, and then just trusting myself to like throw it by guys. Like, just a lot of it's confidence, and some that can take a hit up there, but just, you know, learning to really like believe in yourself and go at those guys. And, you know, we're getting back there these last couple weeks. So
Will Klein, appreciate it. What an honor it is to talk to you.
yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.